Bismillahi walhamdulillahi assalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah amma ba'd rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers. Today, inshallah, we will start our lesson number 127, and we are starting from a new surah, Surah Al-Furqan, and we will try our best to cover from ayah number 1 till 26 today. So, a quick introduction to Surah Al-Furqan. The word Al-Furqan means the criteria. And in English, criteria means that this is like something based on which you decide something, either to go in this direction or that direction. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the first ayah, when we go through it together, we will see is calling Quran as Al-Furqan. So Quran itself is the book that will decide between truth and falsehood, what is right and what is wrong. So this book will tell us, and this book will define the rules that are coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on how we should live our lives individually, as well as how we should live our lives collectively as a Muslim society. So a few more points. This surah was revealed in Makkah. It has about 77 ayahs, inshallah, that we will go through. Today we are covering from 1 until 26. The meaning of the word Al-Furqan directly, as I mentioned earlier, it means the criterion. This surah was revealed in Makkah to be the decisive factor amongst the truth and falsehood. So there were lots of beliefs that were there in that society that had to be negated, and they had to be corrected so that the proper justice system of Islam can be established in the society, where the weak are not oppressed by the powerful and the corrupt people, because they used to make their own laws and decide based on whatever they wanted to benefit in this world. So basically, Quran is the rule, it is the criterion, that is Al-Furqan, to distinguish between the right and the wrong. Transgressors, those people who do not follow the guidance, those people who do not follow the Al-Furqan, are the individuals who dismiss reality. They're not facing reality. They distrust the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they reject the day of judgment and the hereafter. Because you will follow the judgment and you will follow the Quran once you have belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once you have belief that yes, this is the book of revelation that we need to follow. And then there will be a day of judgment on which we will be held accountable. This is the purpose of our life. That a guidance is set to us. Will we follow the guidance or not? Will we do good or not? Will we do halal and stop ourselves from haram or not? And then there will be a day of judgment in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will decide. Upon the arrival of the judgment day, those false deities worshipped by the mushriks. So there used to be shirk, right? They used to worship other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So even the deities, those who used to worship, the false gods that they used to worship, will declare no divinity. So they will say, no, we are not divine, we are not gods, and consider the mushrik is answerable for their own shirk on the day of judgment. So they will also not say that, yes, we asked them to follow, or they were following us as gods, or all these false beliefs. They will also say, no, you take care of yourself. We are not responsible for you. The disbelievers will regret not opting for the righteous path, the right path, meaning they will regret that they did not follow the guidance when it reached them upon arrival of the judgment day. The truth will be in front of them. And finally, this Al-Furqan, Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed it bit by bit, because there was one of the arguments, we'll go through it today, that the mushriks and the chiefs of Makkah, they used to say that, wow, how come the Quran does not come in all together? Why is it coming bit by bit? So there is a wisdom behind this, that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was strengthening the hearts of the Muslims, the companions of the Holy Prophet, as they were progressing and as they were going through different events during the time. Quran was revealed for about 23 years. So the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam started to receive revelation at the age of 40, and that continued until his age of 63, after which he passed away. So there was a gradual revelation of Quran, and that was part of the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how it should be deployed. So moving forward, today's lesson, this was a brief introduction of the surah that we are about to cover, inshallah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I seek refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from shaitan, the outcast, the cursed one. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious, the most merciful. Tabarakalladhi nazzala al-Furqana ala abdihi liyakuna lil alamina nadhira. Blessed is he who sent down, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, blessed is he who sent down the criteria upon his slave, meaning the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he may be a warner to the worlds. So the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not just sent for Muslims. The instructions are not for Muslims. This criteria is for everyone. And of course, once the human beings, those humans who start to follow this guidance and who start to follow the criteria, who start believing, they become Muslims. And they are called Muslims. So this is for everyone to benefit from entire humanity, for the world. It was sent down as a warning. And those people who will listen to the warning, who will follow the warning, they are the ones who are truly practicing Muslims. I think there is a comment in chat. Quickly, I will. No problem. So somebody mentioned that they could not attend the whole class last week. No problem. You can watch the recording. It's been uploaded on our YouTube. Okay, good. So this is the first ayah. Let us go through in detail what is the meaning of Al-Furqan and why do we even need Al-Furqan or guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to live our lives. So we will discuss it a little bit in more detail. So as we already saw, Quran is Al-Furqan, meaning it's the criteria between, and it will decide between truth and falsehood, between right and wrong. Now, the question that I want to ask you guys, and you can raise your hand and then unmute and answer is, why do we even need a criteria? Why do we need justice? Why do we need a justice system? Why do we need guidance on what to do or what is right or what is wrong? Whatever comes to your mind, you can respond. Yes, Omar, go ahead.
We'll basically be like animals without no rules and regulations. So we are the ashraful makhluqat. That's why we need judgment and criteria.
Excellent answer. Jazakallah khairan, Umar. And you're right that basically we need a criteria because we are not like animals. It's not like we can live our lives accordingly. We are ashraful makhluqat. We are the superior beings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls us. And of course, they need to follow a guidance and there has to be a discipline amongst the ranks. So there is a question that came in the chat. I just read it, but it's not relevant to today's topic. You can send it over WhatsApp and then, I'll be able to answer. But let's stay focused on the topic today. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much, Umar. Anyone else? Why do we need a criteria? Why do we need justice? Any other thought? Anything that comes to your mind? Why do we need guidance on what to do, what is right, what is wrong? Yes. AA. That's the abbreviation.
Trying to be a good Muslim and to follow the path of Prophet ﷺ and Allah that they have taught us to bring the justice. Yes.
Omar, Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much. Yes, you're right. And I think you have already jumped to the final answer that we were about to discuss. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much. There's a student named AA. You have your hand raised. Go ahead.
We need criteria to tell us what to do in this world, and so the world can stay in order.
Brilliant. Jazakallah khairan. Excellent answer. Yes. And this one was the one that I was looking for, but Jazakumullah khairan to all of you who answered. And yes, all of the answers are correct. We need a criteria to know how to live in this world. Because, we as human beings, otherwise we'll enter into disputes every day. And let me give you an example and let's discuss this example. So let's say you're living in a country and in that country, there is no law. So there is no law, there is no justice system, no judges, no courts. Now, somebody killed another person over some dispute. So you're living in a country, there is no law, and there is a murder that happened. Okay, so someone was killed by someone else. Now, what happened is now people gathered around the murder site and, there are multiple people who came in and they caught the murderer. So now the murderer is caught, the person who killed this person, and now these people need to decide on what to do. Of course, I mean, killing someone was really despised, and it despised in every society, right? And there are multiple laws in different countries on what should be done, what should be the punishment and everything. So let's say now the people have gathered, there is no law in this country, and now they have caught the murderer. So this is the situation that we are in. Now they have to decide the punishment of the murderer, because as I told you that this is even against humanity. So forget any religion or anything. Even if somebody kills someone, this is wrong, right? It's not seen, because we are not animals, we are human beings. And there is some basic instinct that Allah SWT has already built in ourselves, and it is despised in every society. You will not find any society where people will say, okay, killing someone is okay in our society and it is the best thing to do. Oh no, of course, this doesn't happen, right? So now these people are together and they have to decide the punishment of the murderer. And now they have some different options. The first option that they have is, so a few people are saying, what's the point of killing this murderer? The killed person is already dead and they cannot come back. At least save the life you can. At least save the murderer, because why are we killing the murderer? So this is one point of view. There is another set of people who are saying murderer should also be killed as a compensation, because what he has done, he should get. This is the right way. And it should be set as an example for others, because if you leave the murderer open, other people will also get encouraged that yes, we can, there is no repercussion, there is no punishment. So they are saying the punishment should be this person should be killed as an example for the society. Then there is another group of people who come up and they say murderer should pay a compensation or get a life sentence in prison. Hold them behind bars, they should get a life sentence, and they should also pay some money to the family or whatever. And then some people say, no, we cannot discuss this. Let the elders decide, or let the powerful decide. So there are people amongst the society who are seen as elders, or there are people amongst the society who are really powerful. Eventually, all the people will follow them, because they are the ones who are the powerful. They are in power. So might is right sort of a thing, right? And then some of the people said, let the family of the killed person decide on what to do. So there is a lot of options in front of us. And there are pros and cons. There is some good things. There is some bad things. There is something. And it can have repercussions on the entire society, because you're about to follow the law, implement a law, or you're about to implement a decision on what to do with the person who has been murdered. What do you guys think? Which one is the best option? Yes, Muhammad Hassan Abdullah, you have your hand raised. Go ahead. Which out of these is the best option? Which one should they follow? Somebody saying, Umar Sarfaraz said 2-1. Which is 2-1? Unmute yourself and call it out, guys. Hassan, you're trying to speak. I could not hear you. Sorry.
Sir?
Yes, Umar, go ahead.
All of them have their pros and cons. The first one, what's the point of killing them, is kind of true, but it's not. The person will say, okay, then I can commit all the murders I want. No one will tell me that you also have to die. So there will be no fear of that you will be killed also, and that the murderer should be killed as compensation. This is a good one, because it shows that if you kill someone, this is what you get. So like type of a counterbalance. Murderer should pay a compensation or get a life sentence. This is, I can say, partly good, and the family one is also very good. The elders and all the powerful decide. If the murderer gives क्या कहते हैं, रिश्वत, bribe to
ransom,
the
or bribe, yes.
Yes. If they give the bribe to the elders, then what's the point?
Okay, so you're saying there are pros and cons, and there are very many different options. You like several of them, but they have to decide, right? There is someone in chat mentioned, I think, let the family of the killed person decide. Okay, so this is another opinion. Hassan Abdullah, I think you're trying to speak. I cannot listen to you. I don't know if others can listen. You have your hand raised, you're unmuted, but we're maybe Hassan, if you could write on chat, because I could not get your answer. Nuruddin, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I think there is two options. First, we have to have the murderer if he really asking for the mercy and he won't do any kill, any harm again. So we can put this example on the family of this person. They will decide whether to forgive him or kill him. As an example for everyone.
Jazakallah khairan. Thank you. There was another hand raised from Omar or AA.
I think you should let the elders decide as they're more experienced and wise.
Okay, that is another answer. Who else? I could not get the answer of Hassan Abdullah. Maybe Hassan, if you can write on chat. I know you're unmuted. Maybe you need to check your mic because I'm not able to hear you. Who else is left? Okay, any other answers? Feel free to unmute and answer. Which one do you think is correct? Okay, no problem. So, Hassan, if you want, you can write on chat because I'm unable to listen to you. So I will move forward. The point here is in our small class, we have different point of views. And I'm sure if we put this in front of many other people outside, or if you ask someone in your family and friends, people will have different point of views. And to be honest, whatever I've mentioned here are things that are actually, there are different laws implemented in different countries and different laws. But how do we know which one is the best one, right? So for any society or for any country to establish the law basically, and by the way, I will not comment on which one is the right. Okay, so there's another comment from Fazan. Let the family of the killed person decide. Okay, so basically you guys are saying that, you know, you guys chose different options. I don't want to comment on what is the right option, although from Sharia law we know the right option is that the murderer should be either killed or the family of the person who was murdered. It is up to them. They can pardon him, or that person can pay some amount to that family. But that will be the decision of the family of the killed person. However, the family themselves cannot implement the law. So it cannot be that they kill the murderer, but it will be decided in court and the judge will decide with the will of the family. So if the family pardons him, it's fine. If they don't and they want the compensation that that person should be killed, then the judge will decide, rule, and that person will be executed by law. So that's how the Sharia law is, and this is how it should be. But my point of showing this example was not for us to debate on this certain point. My point was that in a world, we need a criteria to decide what is right, what is wrong, what should be done, what not should be done. And there are two ways this thing can be decided, right? So decided. And there are two options that this can be decided. Number one, the human beings decide and make laws from whatever knowledge and experience that they have. And this is exactly what just happened, right? Most of you guys, you expressed your opinions, you thought how it should be, and you weighed and you told me there are different pros and different cons. There are good things about one thing or direction or another. So that is one way of deciding generally, right? This is how many countries also have different laws. I have a comment from Hassan. Sir, I might think so that the murderer also be killed, an example for others, people who don't kill each other and live peacefully, the family. One cause, it will be good deed if they let the murderer. So, okay. So basically you are, Hassan, Jazakallah khairan. So you have cited your opinion on the options and you have evaluated it just like everyone else. But as I said, my point was not to decide, although we have a clear Sharia law on the murderer, as I explained earlier. But that's not the point of our class. The point that we need to understand as a concept is, in order to decide laws or create a justice system of the society, there are two options. One option is human beings decide and make laws from whatever knowledge and experience that they have. They will try out different methods and they will learn the impact of society. Sometimes it can take several years and sometimes there will be disputes. And eventually, if you leave it to human beings, the most powerful one or the majority or these things, they will decide. And we don't know the implication on the society. Option number two is our creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, decides, as only he has absolute knowledge and he knows how we should operate. He's our creator. So every creator or every manufacturer, we have discussed this in the past as well, gives us a user manual on how to operate, on how to use a mobile phone, on how to use this laptop, or how to use a car, or how to drive a car. There is a features booklet that is given to you. This is what you can do. This is what you cannot do. This is how long you should charge. This is the type of fuel you should put in your car. Otherwise, it won't operate. So our creator is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he has given us that manual or Al-Furqan, the Holy Quran, that tells us how to operate as individuals, as a society, how we should behave with others, what should be the laws. So option number 2 is the best option for us as human beings. It is a criteria. If you recall the ayah that we went through, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this is a criteria that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed to his slave, his abd, meaning the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he is a warner for all the worlds, everyone, all creation. He's a warner. So a warner means if you don't follow the criteria, you will be punished. That we will go through in the following ayahs. So for Muslims, there is no other option. And for us, yes, so Mahad is saying like a guide. You're right. Jazakallahu khairan. So this is like a guide. It's a guidance, which is why we say the Holy Quran was revealed as a guidance for all human beings. And we as Muslims have to follow this guidance, what to do, what not to do. And this is the only option for Muslims. And this is the test of life, guys. Either we will follow this guidance or not follow this guidance. If we follow the guidance, we'll be successful in this life and in the hereafter. If we don't, then we should be ready to face the punishment. So this is also the purpose of creation of life from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, another point that I want to highlight, when I was looking for some pictures, and if you search on Google and if you write justice system or if you use the word justice, you always see this balance, which means, you know, the balance, and usually it represents the law. You have to be, you know, fair, and you have to treat everyone equally and all of that, which is the balance part. And there is a hammer. You know what happens when a judge passes a law or a judgment, when a judge is passing a judgment, and when they complete their order, they put this hammer and they hit it very hard. They hit this hammer as a sign of this is the final word from the judge. Now for us as Muslims, the final word is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has the final word, meaning the Quran and the Hadith and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam are the final word for us. The Sharia law is the final word for us, right? So we as practicing Muslims, we cannot accept any law that is going against the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his Hadith or Sunnah. So this is part of our belief system. This is the part of our Iman, and we have to practice it. So the final word is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is Al-Furqan, the Holy Quran. Now, so now if we try to conclude the entire argument, Quran is a book of reference. It is Al-Furqan. It is not that something that we say, okay, fine, we will start reciting Quran when Ramadan comes, and we will recite Quran a little bit to get the, you know, the ajr and the sawab, which is good, we should do. But the most important role of Quran, Al-Furqan, is the guidance. We need to follow it. We need to implement it on our lives, because this law benefits us in this life as well as in the hereafter. So, and the law is in a lot of detail. All the questions from an individual standpoint, from a society standpoint, from a justice system, economic system, social system, everything, family, the unit of family, the entire society, the individual, our behavior towards others, everything is captured in detail in this user manual, in this guidance, in this Al-Furqan from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We just need to implement it, get to know it, get the knowledge, and implement it in our lives to be every day to be better practicing Muslims as we discuss it. I hope this point is clear. Any questions, any comments before I move forward? Okay. الذي lahu mulku samawati wal ardi wa lam yattakhiz waladan wa lam yakul lahu sharikun fil mulki wa khalaqa kulla shay'in faqaddarahu taqdira. The one who to him belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth. And he has not taken a son, and he has not for him a partner in the dominion, and he has created everything and determined it with absolute determination. Yes. Jazakallahu khairan, Muhammad Hassan. It's nillazi, or if you start, then it can be allazi as well. So, I mean, it depends on how we are reading it and where we are pausing. Nillazi lahu mulkus samawati wal ardi walam yattakhiz waladan walam yakul lahu sharikun fil mulki wa khalaqa kulla shay'in faqaddarahu taqdira. So, the one who to him belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth, he is the creator, he is the master, and he has not taken a son, and he has not taken any partner in the dominion, and he has created everything and determined it with determination, and everything is preordained as well, and he has the absolute knowledge of everything. وَاتَّخَذُوا مِن دُونِهِ آلِهَةً لَا يَخْلُقُونَ شَيْئًا وَهُمْ يُخْلَقُونَ وَلَا يَمْلِكُونَ لِأَنفُسِهِمْ ذرًا ولا نفعا ولا يملكون موتا ولا حياة ولا نشورا. Yet they have taken besides him gods. They do not create anything while they are themselves created, and they don't possess for them any harm and not any benefit, and they do not control death, and they do not control the resurrection life. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only God, He is the only Ilah, and He is the one who has the power to give life and take life, and He is the one who has the power to resurrect us once we die after our death. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِنْ هَذَا إِلَّا إِفْكُ نِفْتَرَاهُ وَأَعَانَهُ عَلَيْهِ قَوْمٌ آخَرُونَ. And say those who disbelieve, this is not but a lie, he invented it and helped him at the people, and he's helped by other people. So those people who disbelieve, they say the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, na'uzubillah, has created this as a lie, and he's helped by some people who are helping him. And they used to say different things. They used to also say when he goes in isolation, when he's sitting alone, there is a person who's coming in and they're helping him and giving him and telling him about all the past stories and everything, and he's coming up with this, na'uzubillah. فَقَدْ جَاءُوا ظُلْمًا وَزُورًا. But verily they have produced an injustice and a lie. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is himself denying all of the accusations that they had against the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Quran itself. وَقَالُوا أَسَاطِيرُ الْأَوَّلِينَ كَتَبَهَا فَهِيَ تُمْلَى عَلَيْهِ بُكْرَةً وَأَصِيلًا. And they say tales, these are the tales of the former people. These are the stories which he has written, and they are dictated to him morning and evening. This is how he is revealing. So na'uzubillah, they were saying that the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is creating these stories, or these stories are of the past people, and he's being told by different people in the morning and the evening. And this is what he is saying that he's getting as a revelation. قُلْ أَنزَلَهُ الَّذِي يَعْلَمُ السِّرَّ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Say he sent it down, the one who knows the secret in the heavens and the earth. This knowledge is coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have seen it in multiple occasions. The scientific miracles of the Quran, meaning the things that were revealed 1400 years before in the Quran, that were so scientific that they did not have that technology to even prove them, they are now getting proven by science every year. As science progresses, and as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to know that knowledge is being understood better and confirmed by science that was revealed in the Holy Quran. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Holy Quran with all its knowledge to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a guidance, as Al-Furqan for us. And he knows the secret inside out. Whatever we keep in our hearts, whatever we say, or whatever things that are hidden from us human beings, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows everything. Innahu kana ghafurur rahima. Indeed, he is of forgiving and most merciful. وَقَالُوا مَالِ هَذَا الرَّسُولِ يَأْكُلُ الطَّعَامَ وَيَمْشِي فِي الْأَسْوَاقِ. And they say, why does this messenger eat the food and walk in the markets? Why is he like an ordinary person like us? And we have read it again in the previous lessons as well. Allah SWT says, if he was not a normal person and if he was an angel, like it will come in the next ayahs, that they were saying, why is he not an angel? Then they would have said, how can we follow him? He's an angel and we are the only human beings, we are limited and everything. So here now the argument is different. They are saying he's like us. How come the messenger is like us? He's eating, walking, moving in the markets just like us. How can we believe him? Why are we not the messenger? Why is revelation not coming to us? All these false arguments that they were making. Laula unzila ilayhi malakun fayakuna ma'ahu nazira. Why not send down to him an angel, then he be with him a warner? So he should already carry an angel with him, and then he can become a warner and, scare all of us that if you don't follow the guidance, this will happen. So all of these are false arguments that they're making. أو يلقى إليه كنز أو تكون له جنة يأكل منها. Or is it delivered to him a treasure, or there is a garden that he may eat from it? We don't see any treasure. He looks like an ordinary person. He's looking like an ordinary life. How come Allah SWT did not give him all the treasure and all of and different gardens to eat from? How come he's not the most richest person amongst us? So these are the false things that they're saying. وَقَالَ الظَّالِمُونَ إِن تَتَّبِعُونَ إِلَّا رَجُلًا مَسْحُورًا. And say the wrongdoers, you not follow but a bewitched man. So now the wrongdoers, Allah SWT is calling them wrongdoers. Zalimun, that the zalim people are saying that he is following, you are not following but a bewitched man. So they are saying that Na'uzubillah, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is mashoor. He is bewitched. He has some evil magic on top of him. So they are saying to his followers, you're following the wrong person. Na'uzubillah. So all these things, they're just creating and making just to oppose the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Unzur kaifa zarabu lakal amthala wa fazallu fala yastati'una sabila. See how they set forth for you the similitudes, meaning the examples, but they have gone astray. So they will not be able to find a way. Now they have gone astray on the wrong path. And because of the things that are quicking in their head, and the things that they're saying, and the thing that they've started to believe, they will not be able to find the right way, the right path. They will completely go astray on the wrong path, and they will not find a way. Tabarakallazi insha'a ja'ala laka khayran min zalika jannatin tajri min tahti al-anhar. Blessed is he who, if he willed, could have made for you better than the gardens that flow from underneath rivers from it. So Allah SWT has something better in store for the Muslims, for the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but they do not understand. They are just seeing it from the worldly standpoint. وَيَجْعَلْ لَكَ قُصُورًا. And he could make for you palaces. Allah SWT can make everything and create everything for the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The understanding of it is not known to the disbelievers. بَلْ كَذَّبُوا بِالسَّاعَةِ. Nay, they deny the hour. Actually, what they're doing is, they're denying the guidance, and they're denying the day of judgment, which will be established on a particular hour, at a particular time. And only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows when it will be established. وَآتَدْنَا لِمَنْ كَذَبَ بِالسَّاعَةِ سَعِيرًا. And we have prepared for those who deny the hour a blazing fire. So they are denying the hour, meaning they are denying, obviously, the warning that the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is bringing to them. Again, if you link back to the first ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent this Furqan via his slave, the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who's supposed to be a warner for the words for everyone. However, they are denying the warning, because the warning is what? Follow the guidance, otherwise you will be held accountable on the day of judgment. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here is saying, no, they are denying the hour. All these acquisitions that they have made to the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam are actually not acquisitions on him. Actually, they are denying the hour or the day of judgment. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying he is prepared for those who deny the day of judgment a blazing fire. Now, the action for us to understand is, obviously, we cannot deny the hour, the day of judgment will come in. And this life is slipping away like sand from us. So this life is moving fast, is moving very fast. We cannot waste a minute. We cannot think, okay, I will start being a better Muslim once I'm 50-year-old or 60-year-old. I will pray all 5 times. I will make sure. Well, I'm currently involved in interest. I know it is haram, but still, I mean, you know, I have to first buy this house out of mortgage or car or all of these things. So the point is, we cannot have excuses not to be a better practicing Muslim, and we have to strive every day. And the time is running out, and we don't know the time of our death, right? We don't know. One reality is everybody dies, and once you die, that's the end of your time. Now you only wait after that death until the day of judgment, where you'll be held accountable. And by the way, the moment you die, you face the reality. The truth comes in front of people, and then they are regretting that they could have been better Muslims. So action for us is, we have to start acting now and be a better practicing Muslim every day. Okay, so the question that came on chat is, sir, time goes so fast nowadays. Why is it happening? The thing is, when you get involved in multiple things, and when you are distracted, you lose track of time. When you pick up your mobile, you try to do something, and you get lost in multiple other things. There are multiple other notifications that come. So you wanted to reply to someone's message, or you wanted to call someone, you picked up your mobile, but you got distracted. There are lots of distractions in this world, and we are getting more and more distractions. We have to be choiceful in what we invest our time and our energy on. This is very important, especially for young guys like you who are about to start your life. You are at the very important phase of your life. So we were discussing that don't deny the hour, the judgment day. Life is slipping away like sand from our hand. And we were discussing different things. And one of the questions was that these days life is going on very fast. And what I was saying was that we are distracted so much, and there are so many distractions. And especially when you guys are at the young age where you are about to shape up your life. You guys are studying. You have to focus on your studies. You have to focus on your future. You have to focus on your career. And also you have to focus on learning and how you will live your life as you proceed. So from that angle, I think Al-Furqan, again, the Quran, the guidance for us from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes very important. And we have to, because we cannot think, one of the whispers of shaitan is that we have a lot of time and everything. We don't have time, and we have to make sure that we start practicing now. And so focus your energies on things that matter to you. Try to keep yourselves away from distractions. Focus on the things that matter, related to this life as well as related to the hereafter. So moving forward, إذا رأتهم من مكان بعيد سمعوا لها تغيظا وزفيرا. When it sees them from a place far, they will hear its raging and roaring. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, those people who deny the day of judgment, in the previous ayah we saw that those people who deny the day of judgment, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared a fire for them, and that is a raging and roaring fire that when it sees them from a distance will be, they will be able to hear it from far. So that's it's very fierce. That's the extent or extremity of this fire that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. Now for us, a very important action that we need to continue praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from hellfire. So we should recite and memorize this dua and prayer that we have also read in our previous lessons. Allahumma ajirni minan nar. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, protect me from hellfire. Because going to hellfire is not an option for us. I mean, imagine having a small fire or some candle and putting your hand to it, or getting burnt. So there is no option for us to even think about that. Yes, that is okay, and let me do my life or live my life accordingly, and I don't care about halal, haram and everything or whatever. And it is a very heavy thing that we are putting ourselves against. So we should continue pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and try our best to protect ourselves from hellfire, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from hellfire. Moving forward, وَإِذَا أُلْقُوا مِنْهَا مَكَانًا ضَيِّقًا مُقَرَّنِينَ دَعُوا هُنَالِكَ ثُبُورًا. And when they are thrown thereof in a place narrow, bound in chains, they will call there for destruction. So when they are in chains and when they will be thrown there, they would wish that they die somehow, but they won't be able to die. So this would be a wish coming from them, that may this punishment end. So they would want this punishment to end and go away. However, Allah SWT is saying they will call for their destruction, that may death come to us and we don't get to feel the pain that we are in. However, what will happen? La tad'ul yawma suburan wahidan wad'u suburan kasira. Do not call this day for destruction, only one destruction. You won't die once here, but call for many destructions, because you have done multiple deeds, multiple wrong deeds. It will not end like this. You will stay in it forever. So it's a very heavy burden and a heavy thing on us that we cannot even imagine. So right now we have to take action. And this is a very, very important point. This ayah is very, very important for us to understand a concept. And that is, I want you guys to imagine. Let's say a person commits 100 murders. So he keeps on killing people and he kills 100 people. Then how can we punish him in this world? He can be only killed one time. He cannot be killed 100 times. So what should we do with this problem? What do you guys think? What can be done? The person has killed 100 people. Yes, Hassan, go ahead. Your hand is raised.
I think so that we should pray from Allah on the day of judgment. He will, kill him, then reborn him, kill him, and reborn him.
Jazakallah khairan. And that's the answer. And I am so happy that because of this disconnection, I have started to hear you as well, because otherwise you had to write on chat. Alhamdulillah. So you see, there is khair in everything that happened. So, and you're 100% right. Jazakallah khairan. So somebody has mentioned in chat as well, 100 stone or stoning to death via 100. Whatever you do, he will only die once. However, stoning to death, 100 stoning to death cannot happen, right? So the important thing for us to understand is there are many things that happen around us. Like, for example, a person who has killed 100 people. Now, how should he be punished? There are people who do mass corruption and they impact many people. They impact nations. They impact multiple families. How do you give them a punishment that is of that magnitude? So, yes, Nuruddin, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, I think we should kill the murderer in one shot. So his wrath will be more. Allah will give him more pain just because he couldn't bear in this world. If we beat him in this world, like stoning him and try to give him more pain, then maybe his wrath in the next world will be less.
Fine. The thing is, this is the helplessness of the justice system of this world. This is what I wanted to highlight. In this world, there is so much that you can do to compensate a person. 100 murderer, a person who has murdered 100 people, we can only execute him once as a compensation. But he has impacted 100 different families, for example, right? Or a person who does corruption with a mass level has impacted so many people. You can only do something with that one individual. However, the previous ayah is telling us that Allah SWT is saying, for many people, call for multiple destructions, meaning you will not just face one death and you would be done with it. No. So this also tells us everything else that is happening around us in this world, if you look around, that there has to be a day of judgment. And only Allah SWT has the power to give that murderer pain of death and bring him back to life again and again, 100 times, so that he gets the punishment that he deserves. So the point that I was about to make is, this also gives us Iman. This also gives us belief that there has to be a day of judgment where absolute justice will be served and everyone will get punished to the equal number of punishment that they incurred in this world. In this world, we cannot administer that justice. We don't have the power to do that. You can only kill that person only once. But in order for him to face the punishment and pain of killing 100 people, this thing can only happen on the day of judgment when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will decide. And by the way, we are no one's to say, and this I was explaining to you guys as a concept. Otherwise, we are no one to say what will happen to each one of us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful as well. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the absolute knowledge, and He is the one who will decide on that day. But I was sharing this as a concept that when you look around with the negative things that are happening in this world, and sometimes you feel this is not fair, or how come that person ran away, or how come nobody's touching that person, or how come that person is still having a good life while doing such bad things. For us, we need to understand that in this world, justice cannot be administered. Yes, we have the guidance, we have Sharia law, we have everything, and we implement it the way we have been told. But there has to be a day of judgment. And these things, all the signs around us, should make us believe on the day of judgment as well. So the point and the action for us is we have to believe in the day of judgment, and we have to prepare for it. Meaning we have to keep it in our mind, and we have to be conscious of this fact that there will be a day of judgment when I will be held accountable for my actions. So I should follow the guidance. Whatever is happening all around us in this world are signs that yes, there is a judgment day when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will serve the right justice. Moving forward. Qul adhalika khayrun am jannatul khuldillati وَإِذَا الْمُتَّقُونَ. Say, is that better or garden of eternity which is promised to the righteous? Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, now choose your path. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is promising gardens, paradise for eternity where you will live forever. So why don't you listen to the guidance and follow the guidance and choose that path? Why are you even going to denying the day of judgment and facing that blazing fire and facing that multiple punishment? كَانَتْ لَهُمْ جَزَاءً وَمَصِيرًا. It will be for them a reward and a destination where they will live forever. Muhammad Hassan, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Sir, there was a question in my mind for a long time that won't we get bored by seeing one thing all around in the Jannah?
Excellent question. And I love this question. And you know, we have on this question, we have a lot of discussions with our my little daughters as well. So the thing is, the beauty of Jannah will be, and the premise of my answer, what you need to understand is that there is nothing impossible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the creator. So imagine there is a person, and I will try to answer this question from an example. Imagine there is a person who lives in a small village, and in that small village or a small city, there are certain types of fruits that are there. He is enjoying those fruits, and he moves to another place, another city, another city. This is just an example from this world, right? And then he discovers, oh, there are amazing mangoes. Oh, there is something called strawberry. Oh, there are these blueberries. And there are different things he experiences. So, you know, I can also enjoy life like this. Oh, so I can have this and I have this. So even in this world, if you take a person from one point to another point and to another point as he explores the world and he does different activities and he tries different experiences, which is why, by the way, people travel. They like to have different experiences. So just in this finite world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created these amazing experiences that in a lifetime, if you were to travel the world and actually spend a lot of time, your life will finish, but the experiences will not finish. And these are finite, right? Now, if we imagine that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is nothing impossible for him. And it is mentioned, by the way, in the hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well, that the believers and the people who will be living in Jannah, they will never get bored. Every time, every moment will be exciting. Everything that will be given to them will be exciting, and the excitement will continue to grow and increase and increase and increase and increase perpetually. And this is not impossible for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, if you take the example that I just gave you of this world, and these are the signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks us to think and see and then believe, right? So the example that I gave you, this is so true for us, and this is how it happens, and we know it does happen, right? So you take a person from one part of the world, you take them around and they explore and they get all these experiences, and they spend a lifetime, several number of years. So this is something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already created and is in front of us, and it is so exciting. right? So imagine the level of excitement that is there and that is created within Jannah, where it is promised that the believers or the dwellers of Jannah will not get bored of it, and it will continue to increase and they will continue to get excited. I hope I've answered your question. Okay, good. So it will be for them a reward and a destination where they will be living. Lahum fiha ma yasha'una khalidin. For them therein is whatever they wish, they will abide in it forever. Kana ala rabbika wa'adam mas'ula. It is on your Lord a promise that is there. You know, it's a requested, that your request. So basically, whatever we request, it's like Allah SWT is promising us that it will be given to us. وَيَوْمَ يَحْشُرُهُمْ وَمَا يَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ فَيَقُولُ أَأَنْتُمْ أَضْلَلْتُمْ عِبَادِي هَؤُلَاءِ أَمْ هُمْ ضَلُّوا السَّبِيلَ. I think this is getting a bit hidden. Yeah. Okay. So, and the day he will gather them and what they worship besides Allah. Now Allah SWT is mentioning a very important point related to the false deities that we will go through now. So they worship besides Allah, and he will say, did you mislead my slaves, these, or they went astray from the way themselves? This is the question that Allah SWT will ask the deities. There is a Sahih Hadith related to this ayah, narrated Mu'adh bin Jabal radiallahu ta'ala anhu. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "O Mu'adh, do you know what Allah's right upon his slaves is?" I said, "Allah and his messenger know better." The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "To worship him alone and to join none in worship with him." And then, do you know what their right upon him is? So basically, the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us. What should we do? We should only worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone and don't join anyone else in worshipping him. So there are things that we should expect only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not from other deities, other false gods and everything. Now the question was, do you know what their right upon him is? So once we do this, what should we expect from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Then Mu'adh radiallahu ta'ala anhu replied, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his messenger know best. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, not to punish them if they did so. So there are two things. One small thing that I want to highlight. If you look at the companion and the way he is responding to the question of the Holy Prophet, and of course, Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has the answer, but he's asking it as a question. Do you know what is the right upon him of those people upon him is? And he's saying only the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam knows. So this is the attitude that we need to have whenever we are learning religion as well. If we don't know anything, that doesn't mean that it is a fault in Islam or a fault whatever. It is something that is lack of our knowledge. We should increase our knowledge. Anyways, that was a side point. So the amazing part is, if a person worships only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, follows the guidance, and he doesn't have any false deities, meaning he is not following any false gods, he's not asking someone, he's not attributing anyone things that should be attributed from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he's not doing any shirk, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said not to punish them if they did so. So it will be a right of people that they don't get punished from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if we worship only him alone. So it's like a guarantee that if you only worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you don't join anyone else, and you only fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you only have and you follow his guidance, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not punish us. It almost becomes our right that we are not getting punished. This is the beautiful way the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam explained this concept. Now, so if we look at the ayah, and the day he will gather them and what they worship besides Allah, and he will say, did you mislead my slaves, these, or they went astray from on the way from by themselves? Listen to what the deities or their false gods will say. قالوا سبحانك ما كان ينبغي لنا أن نتخذ من دونك من أولياء ولكن متعتهم وآباهم حتى نسوا الذكر. They say, glory be to you. It was not proper for us that we take besides you any protectors, but you gave them the comforts and their forefathers until they forgot the message. So they are the ones who are making this of false gods from themselves. Just like, for example, in the Christian concept, they treat Isa alayhi salam as God, and Maryam salamun alayha as God, and they have a concept of Trinity, all of this. But Isa alayhi salam never said this. He said, I'm Ab, La ilaha illallah. There is only one Lord, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no Lord except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he said that as well. Now people after him started worshipping. And similar for any deities, false gods that people create, their false deities and gods themselves will say, no, we have nothing to do with them. You are pure from everything that they say. Wakanu qaumam bura, and became a ruined people. So look at the response. You gave them, they will say that we did not ask them to follow us or call us gods and everything else. And they say you gave them comforts and their forefathers until they forgot the message. When we are in a comfortable life, when we have everything, we feel the need that no, we don't need to follow any guidance. Why should I limit myself? I can buy everything. I can have a fun life. I can do whatever. What is halal haram? I can afford, alcohol, and I can buy it. So people become arrogant when they have power, when they have comfort, and they feel like, although they should become even more humble, they should become thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are the people who become ruined on their own. Their deities will not even own them, and they will say, we never said that. Nuruddin, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I came in class 5 minutes late. So
Yes,
I
yes.
missed. How long we gonna? How
Sorry,
many
so I
ayahs
will.
we gonna complete today?
Yes, I will continue the class, and any of you who has any other commitment, feel free to leave, and then you can later on listen to the recording. Because of the disruption, we are a bit over time. I will inshallah continue and close the class quickly, okay?
No,
Okay.
I just mean to ask.
Yes.
How many ayahs we gonna?
So we have about 6 ayahs left, 7 ayahs left.
Okay, no issue. I will stay on the class.
Thank you so much. فَقَدْ كَذَّبُوكُمْ بِمَا تَقُولُونَ. So verily they deny you in what you say. فَمَا تَسْتَطِيعُونَ صَرْفًا وَلَا نَصْرًا. So you're not able to avert and not able to help them. وَمَنْ يَظْلِمْ مِنْكُمْ نُذِقْهُ عَذَابًا كَبِيرًا. And whoever does wrong among you, we will make them taste a great punishment. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا قَبْلَكَ مِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ إِلَّا إِنَّهُمْ لَيَأْكُلُونَ الطَّعَامَ وَيَمْشُونَ وَفِي الْأَسْوَاقِ. And not we send before you any messenger, but indeed they surely ate food and walked in the markets, just like you do. وَجَعَلْنَا بَعْضَكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ فِتْنَةً. And we have made some of you for others a trial, and you guys are a trial for each other. So we see if somebody comes and tells you something against Islam, will you follow or not? Will you be misguided or not? Atasbirun, will you have patience? The check is that will you have patience? Someone is there, let's say, better than you, will you have patience? Someone has some more children, more wealth, will you have patience? Will you have patience? Someone is doing corruption or whatever, and then, will you have patience or not? Of course, we need to stop the wrong actions. But what Allah SWT is saying, whatever situation you are in, there will be trials for you, because Allah SWT is testing you on those trials to see if you will have patience or will you go on the wrong way. Wakana Rabbuka Basira, and your Lord is all seer. Everything is being noted down. All your actions are noted down. So will you follow the Al-Furqan? Will you follow the guidance or not? وقال الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا لولا أنزل علينا الملائكة أو نرى ربنا. And said those who do not expect the meeting with us, that those who don't believe in the day of judgment, why not our angels send down, or we see our Lord ourselves? So if all of this is true, if angels are there, we want to see them and send them down, and we want to see the Lord ourselves. So this is their argument. لَقَدِ اسْتَكْبَرُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ وَآتَوْا عُتُوًّا كَبِيرًا. And indeed they have become arrogant within themselves, and they have become insolent with insolence, which is a great insolence. So it is something that completely misguided, all of these things that they are asking for. Why? Because part of our Iman is also, and a part of our belief is believing in the unseen and following the guidance. The things that they're asking, if they come in front of them, it will be the end of it, and then they will not get any time. Just like the previous nations, when they were given the miracles and they were given things and they still did not believe, then there was a strong punishment that was given to them. يوم يرون الملائكة لا بشرى يومئذ للمجرمين ويقولون هجرا محجورا. The day they see the angels, and no glad tidings will be given on that day for the criminals, and they will say a partition forbidden. So now the people, those people, once they will see the angels, and once they start to see, already it will be the end. They will not be able, now they will not be, the only thing that will be left with them will be regret. They will not be able to overturn anything or change anything. وَقَدِمْنَا إِلَى مَا عَمِلُوا مِنْ عَمَلٍ فَجَعَلْنَاهُ هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. And we will proceed to whatever they did of the deeds, and we will make them as dispersed dust. So they will be facing the repercussions of everything that they did in this world, and they will be dispersing like dust. There will be no importance. There is no importance. They will be moving. Ashabul Jannati Yawma izin khayrum mastaqarram wa ahsanu maqila. The companions of paradise that day will be in a better abode and a better resting place. Wa yawma tashaqqaqu as-sama'u bil ghamami wa nuzzila al malaikatu tanzila. And the day will split open the heavens with the clouds will be sent down, and the angels will be descending to welcome them, to receive them. Last ayah for today. Al-mulku yawma izin al-haqqu lir-Rahman. The sovereignty that day will be truly for the most gracious. Wa kana yawman alal kafirina asira. And it will be a day which will be very difficult for the disbelievers. So how the people, on the believers and the people who do good deeds, how they will be received, and how the disbelievers will be received, it will be a very difficult day for the disbelievers. So quickly going through the key actions from this lesson. The first one came from the start of the surah, from the first ayah, and the word itself, Al-Furqan. And Al-Furqan means a criteria that will decide the right and the wrong, and we had a detailed discussion on that. The most important thing for us is Al-Furqan is the criteria that will decide. And the Holy Quran, Allah SWT is terming it as Al-Furqan, that will decide between right and wrong, between falsehood and good. And we agreed that as a society of human beings, collectively and individually, we need that criteria. Otherwise, we will all be arguing between different options of different punishments that can be done in case there is a dispute amongst people. And we went through different examples. So what is important is we need to understand, in this world to live, there are two options only. Number one is that people decide based on their, whatever they decide based on their experience, or whosoever is most powerful, so the law of might is right, gets prevailed. Or we take the guidance from Allah SWT, who is our creator, and he knows how we should operate. So he has given down this guidance in the form of the Holy Quran, explained to us in the Hadith and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet. So this is a book of reference. This is what we need to go to. Sharia law is what we need to implement, because that is coming from our creator, who knows how we should operate for the benefit of this world as well as for the hereafter. So this book of reference was explained to us in the Hadith and Sunnah of the Holy Prophet, and this becomes a Sharia law that benefits us individually as well as collectively as a Muslim society in this life as well as in the hereafter. The second action for us is that we don't have the option of denying the hour, which is the judgment day. Those people who deny the hour, they deny the guidance, and they deny the Al-Furqan, and they want to create their own laws. They want to live their lives accordingly. They don't want to differentiate between halal and haram. They want to just have fun and everything. But this is not an option for Muslims. This is not the option for people who follow the guidance. We have to start now, like from the next moment, because we don't know when we will die, and the time is slipping fast, right? It's like sand, it's going fast because of all the distractions that we have all around us. So we have to start now to become a better practicing Muslim every day. And we have to strive by getting the knowledge and implementing it on our lives, right? So because Quran is a book of reference, as we saw in the previous action. Allah SWT mentioned, and we saw it in the Quran earlier, that those people who deny the hour, there is a blazing fire ready for them, and it will be raging, and it is very tough for them, and it will be very difficult for the disbelievers. So we should continue to pray to Allah SWT to protect us from fire. Allahumma ajirni minan nar. Oh Allah SWT, protect us, or protect me from the hellfire. Continue reciting it throughout the day. This is a very, very important action if you want to save yourselves from that blazing fire. Believe in the day of judgment and prepare for it. This point came when Allah SWT mentioned that yes, the person, those people will be, those who are punished in the hellfire, those who will be residing there, they will wish for death to come so that their agony can end and they can die once. However, Allah SWT said they should ask for multiple destructions and multiple deaths because it's not going to be one time. And we discussed in detail that in this world, we see a lot of things that are happening around us, that people are committing crimes like killing many people, or we took an example of someone who killed 100 people. How can we punish him in this world? He can only die once. This and all of the things around us, a person doing corruption with millions of people and impacting millions of people, this tells us that there will be a day of judgment when absolute justice will be served. So people, and they will get the right punishment equal to the crime that they commit. But in this world, we cannot give that. A person who killed 100 people can only die once. He can feel that pain once, while he gave that pain to 100 of families, right? So there will be a day of judgment, and this tells us, and this should give us belief in the day of judgment. So our action is we need to believe in that day and start preparing for it. So this marks the end of today's lesson. Are there any comments, any questions related to today's class before we close? Okay. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Purity belongs to Allah and all praise be to Him. Purity belongs to you, O Allah, and all praise be to you. I bear witness that there is none worthy of worship besides you. I beg forgiveness from you and I repent before you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers. Inshallah, I will see you same time next week.